Hi everyone, I'm Shanaia Samtaney. I'm based in Mumbai, India, and I'm 20 years old. I'm currently in my third and final year of college at St. Xavier's College, Mumbai. I am a mass media and communication student. As Leah mentioned, I'm very passionate about coaching and the creative field as a large, which is why I'm also interning with a digital marketing agency at the moment. Coaching is something I feel like I've always been very passionate about, helping others in a field where, I think I have the skills and the knowledge. So today, my program that I have carefully designed is called Communicate with Impact. Now, the main reason why this program is so close to my heart is because when I was back in school and even through these last 3 years of college, I never had any course or any class in school or college where they sat us down and taught us the importance of communication skills. The last 3 years, I've constantly been applying for internships, just looking at job descriptions. And that is when I realized how important it is to have effective communication skills, which is what my program today is all about. So if we're ready, let's get started. Now, when most of us are in school or in college, we learn a variety of subjects. We learn science, maths, English, geography, history, whatnot. And, a couple of years later, most of us enter the workspace. And when that happens, a slight problem is that a lot of us don't exactly know how to communicate. And a lot of us don't really communicate in the ways that we should be. And in fact, in the words of George Bernard Shaw himself, the single biggest problem in communication is the illusion that it has taken place. I couldn't agree anymore. Now, not communicating effectively often leads to young people, it leads to affecting their affecting their confidence, affecting their credibility, and affecting their overall chances for success. And no one wants that, right? Everyone wants to go into the workforce giving it their best shot. So I have designed a program wherein young coaches help young individuals better their communication skills as a whole. Why? Because I honestly believe that when you have young coaches training young people around the same age as them, I feel like it's a lot more impactful. And that is why my program is called Communicate with Impact. So our program is based around helping young people better their communication skills through our sessions, which will in turn lead to them, boosting their confidence levels and also just helping them be the best versions of themselves when they finally take that leap and enter the real world. Now, moving on to the agenda for today, we are going to start by addressing the benefits of communication. Why is it so important for young individuals to have those effective communication skills? Will it really help them when they finally enter the workspace? Moving on to the program content. What is it that our program offers these young individuals that can really and truly benefit them in the future? And we will end with program methodology, which is how we have designed this program and how it is set to run. Now, as I mentioned earlier, I am in my third and final year of college at the moment. These past 3 years, I've been constantly applying for internships. I've been looking at so many job descriptions, and I've also I'm soon going to be applying for jobs as well. One thing that a lot of my friends and I have noticed is that no matter what the job is, in the job description, one skill that is required in all these job descriptions is excellent communication skills, written and oral. In fact, a study published by the International Journal of Business Communication clearly states that the most desirable quality in a new hire is effective communication skills. So now, what are the benefits of communication skills? Why is it so important? Firstly, communicating effectively breeds trust. It leads to the people around you, believing what you have to say. It makes you come across as authentic and gain the trust of your audience or just any individual or group of people who you are interacting with. One of the biggest perks of being able to communicate effectively is that it increases your confidence levels. And especially in the world in which we live today, with the amount of competition out there for young individuals, anything that can help them boost their confidence levels will definitely give them an edge over the rest of their competition. And having effective communication skills and being confident in what they have to say can really take them a long, long way. Thirdly, it establishes professionalism. Now, when you're in a workspace, so in a corporate setting, if you are able to communicate effectively and be sure about what you have to say and get your point across clearly, it automatically makes you appear more professional. And that is something that a lot of companies really look for in a new hire. Fourthly, higher engagement. Okay, so now with the current scenario our world is in today, all of us are on, almost everyone is using virtual platforms such as Zoom, as we are at the moment. People are constantly texting each other, emailing each other, calling each other. I cannot stress on the importance of engaging with in the current situation. Because if you stop that engagement, your peers, co-workers, any person you are interacting with in general is just going to get bored and switch off. And come on, we don't want that, right? Engagement is so important. Communicating well also helps us build long-lasting relationships. Now, I'm sure each and every one of us in our life, we all have that, maybe those few people, that's like a group of certain people, they may be our family, our friends, co-workers who we want to maintain like a lifelong relationship with. And, being able to communicate well without any miscommunication or any misunderstandings is truly the right way and truly the best way to maintain a long-lasting relationship. And last but not least, it helps us build more friends and connections. And come on, who doesn't want that? Because honestly, in today's world, who you know is as important as what you know. Networking is key. And having the right communication skills and being able to get your point across clearly is honestly the best way to build your network. Now let's move on to the program content. So we have designed this program content, the program to last for a period of 6 days, run across a timeline of 6 weeks. In our first session, we would like to help our participants understand, the impact that communication and certain behavior has on creating a perception of themselves in the minds of others. It is, the perception that the perceptions that, communities, societies, our friends, our co-workers hold of us is pretty important. And a lot of us want to create a very desirable perception and, a perception that is true to ourselves. So we intend on training our young participants on how to do so the right way. In our second session, we would like to stress on how to strike up a conversation and build rapport and relationships. If there is one thing I have learned, going through a lot of these internship interviews, is that, learning to strike up a conversation with someone is so, so important. I've often been told, learning to strike up a conversation with people is one of the strongest skills you can have. Just being able to talk about something to get that rapport going is it's just incredible, which is what we tend to stress on in our second session. For our third session, we would like to teach our participants how to appreciate the drivers of effective communication. Now, you may want to know, what are the drivers of effective communication? Your voice modulation, your posture, your gestures, eye contact. These are so important when it comes to growing and just growing as an individual and bettering your communication skills. I like to divide my drivers of effective communication into what I call the 3 V's of effective communication: vocal, verbal, and visual. Now, don't we all, in a lot of situations in our life, there's been miscommunication or misunderstanding that takes place. So that's what our fourth session focuses around: how to help our young participants use questioning, listening, paraphrasing, and these other important tools to avoid miscommunication in a lot of situations. Now, haven't we all been in that place, where we're in either a group presentation in college or just in a workspace where we have to work with others, or maybe just as other individual who we just, where we just can't see eye to eye. We all have different opinions, throwing them out there. Everybody thinks they're right. Nobody wants to listen to anyone else. I mean, come on, I know I have been in my fair share of those situations. So that is exactly what our fifth session focuses around: how to teach participants to communicate with diplomacy and tact in critical situations. Now, in life, you were going to come across various groups of individuals, various audiences, various individuals as themselves. And no one is going to be exactly the same as you. No one is always going to see eye to eye. No audience will be exactly the same as another, which is why we want to teach in our last and final session. We want to teach our participants how to adapt their communication skills to suit that particular audience in that particular moment. And now, moving on to the program methodology. So starting off with, one of the major differentiators of this program is that it's by young coaches for young students, teenagers, young adults. Now, one of the main reasons why I truly and firmly believe that young coaches can make a difference is because I've had my fair share of classes, guest lectures in college, webinars, where a lot of the time my friends and I've taken a lot of feedback from my friends while putting this project together, is, a lot of the times when we have these high-flying business professionals come in and try to teach us, a lot of youngsters feel a little intimidated to interact with them and to, practice in front of them. And which is why I truly believe that, when it comes to just having an online webinar, online session like I have planned, it would be so helpful to have a coach around the same age as those of our participants, just to make them feel that level of comfort and for them to feel that they can participate as freely as they want and that, no one is judging them. So we will have six sessions that will be spread across a time period of 6 weeks. Each session will go on for 2 hours. Participants will have tons of group discussions, role plays, and home assignments to help them better their skills and build on their skills with each session. In each session, participants will not only be given the opportunity to participate with their fellow peers in breakout rooms, but also with the coach. And at the end of 6 weeks, participants will create an action plan for themselves to sustain the learning and to just better themselves as, the years, weeks go by. I would just like to conclude by saying, communication is key. That is something I have learned through, just making presentations in school and all the way up to making presentations in my final year of college. Communicating, interviews. I've just realized how important it is to just be able to communicate effectively, just get your point across clearly. I just feel like that is something that's so personal to me. And I honestly wish it was something that my teachers had stressed upon in school or college, which is why this program is so important to me, to help other youngsters who are probably in the same position I was. That's the change I want to bring about. And young coaches can definitely make a difference. So thank you so much for listening. And if anybody has any questions, I'd be happy to answer them.